Let's move on to the biggest fight of the year so far that's happening tomorrow night in Brooklyn, New York, where Devin Haney takes on Ryan Garcia in a fight that was supposed to be for the WBC Junior Welterweight Championship. Garcia, however, is not eligible to win the title since he missed weight this afternoon by 3 pounds. The fight will still happen, but there won't be any titles on the line. Haney actually bet Garcia $500,000 per pound that he wouldn't make weight. And Haney confirmed via X, formerly known as Twitter, that Garcia paid up. As for not making weight, Garcia went on X and posted the following message, quote, "Why would I force myself to make weight so I can be weak? Nah, I'm here to win. That's it," end quote. Now, we talked about the fight earlier this week with promoter Oscar De La Hoya, but who better to break down what we're getting ready to see between these two fighters than my next guest. He's a Hall of Fame boxing commentator, a trainer to 18 world champions, and he hosts the Fight with Teddy Atlas podcast. Please welcome my buddy, my brother, the one and only Teddy Atlas. What's up, big time? How are you, buddy? How's everything?
I'm doing better. I see you. I'm with you. Anytime I'm with you, I'm doing a little better. Be with a good person. Forget about a good talker. I'm talking about a good person. Always blessed to be with you.
Thank you so much, buddy. You know, I feel the same way about you. Tell me, what does it mean to somebody like you if a fighter like Garcia doesn't make weight? He's saying he doesn't care. He's just trying to be strong. He's not trying to be weak for the fight, but he didn't make weight. What does that mean to Teddy Atlas?
First of all, this is a guy who was lightweight. He moved up to junior welter, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? He should be able to make weight. That's not the issue, Stephen. The issue is what's been going on for the last 2 months with the craziness around his so-called training camp, around the promotion of this fight, the tweets that he's been sending out, the posts that he's been putting on his social media. Look, I'm going to get right to it. This fighting shouldn't be taking place. I don't want to keep anyone from making money. People are going to get very upset what I'm about to say, but the New York State Athletic Commission should be ashamed of themselves that they're letting this fight going on without proper evaluation. Now, they might turn around and say, hey, you know, we did some kind of evaluation with our doctors. I don't know about it. I don't know that the public knows about it. All I know is that when he's been doing this kind of crazy stuff, where he said he was kidnapped, and he posted, said that he was brought by a cult into the woods to watch little kids get raped. When he said that when he was smoking weed 5 weeks before the fight and posting it, when he was drinking a bottle of liquor 5 weeks before fight and he was posting it, and when he looked like he was all messed up and hung over, and he's posting all kinds of crazy things, almost crying, like he's screaming for help. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. And the first priority of a New York State Athletic Commission, which, at last I checked, they're open because of taxpayers' money. Now, I know that they want to make money. I know that they're tied into the promoters. I know that if promoters don't put big fights on in New York, there's no reason to have a boxing commission. I get it. But I also get that their responsibility is to look out for the welfare of the fighter. That means that a fighter should get in the ring in sound body and sound mind. You can argue this anywhere, that there's plenty of evidence that Ryan Garcia is not of sound mind. Did you see the press conference yesterday? I mean, it was just horrible, the things that he was saying. And it's not trash talk. It's crazy talk.
But Teddy, Oscar De La Hoya came on this show just a couple of days ago, and he said he was concerned too.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. He's the promoter. He's the promoter.
Right.
No different than Bob Arum. You ask Bob Arum something about fight, he'll say, yeah, he's better than Muhammad Ali. Yeah, he's better than Roberto Duran. Yeah, he's better than Sugar Ray Robinson. And meanwhile, the guy will go and lose 5 fights straight after that, because he's the promoter. He'll say anything to promote, anything to make money. I don't care what he says. I think that
at least let me tell you what he said, Teddy. What he said was he was concerned about Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia said to him, Oscar, I'm trying to promote the fight. I'm just promoting the fight. That's all. He said it
I
was an
hear you,
act that
Stephen.
he's promoting the fight.
Stephen, this went beyond. This went beyond promoting a fight. I mean, if you get a hold of some of the things that he's been, and again, I'm not trying to keep anyone from making money. God bless them. What I'm trying to do is make sure somebody doesn't get in already a dangerous place. My business, 50 years in it, is a dangerous business. It's tough enough, dangerous enough to get in that squared circle, into that ring when you're healthy. But if you're not healthy, and if you're mentally not healthy, then you shouldn't be in the ring. And a commission has a responsibility to make sure you're healthy. I don't know what they did. I don't know if they evaluated them or if they had proper people evaluate them. I just don't understand with everything that's out there, the evidence that's out there of his behavior over the last 2 months. I don't know how the commission sanctioned this. I really, truly do not understand how they can sanction this. I knew he was going to be overweight. The guy's not in shape. The guy only went into training camp 5 weeks before the fight. Before that, he was posting all this just crazy. He said that his therapist recommended hallucinogenics. I mean, just the things that he was saying and the look of him. You were getting him posting. He was posting little things of him training in a parking lot with pads and stuff. You could see his muscle tone wasn't right. You could even look into his eyes, his face. You could see something just wasn't right. And his whole behavior hasn't been right. Steven, there's a precedent for this. I'm going to go back. I don't know if it's
What's the precedent? What's the precedence? Are you going to go back to Oliver McCall when he was in the ring against Lennox Lewis?
Oliver McCall, exactly, Stephen. Of course you would know that. Of course you would get on it. Oliver McCall in the rematch with Lennox Lewis, he knocked Lennox Lewis out. I think it was in one round. In the rematch, he had the poor guy had all kinds of problems. Alcohol, drugs. He was in an alcohol drug detox. He was going through that. And if my memory serves me correct, he even, as crazy as this sounds, he even did some of his training the last couple of weeks in the detox, in the alcohol rehab center. He was in no condition. Forget about physically. He was mentally, emotionally in no condition. Shame on the people around him. Yeah, I said it. Shame on the people around, because money, there's a reason why they say money is the root of all evil. They let him get in that ring. I know that, a man is responsible for himself, but in this kind of situation, the people around you, your trainers, people around you, they have to also have some of that responsibility. They get paid. They have to have some of that responsibility too, and they have to take it seriously. They let that guy get into the ring, and in the ring, you know what happened. He broke down and started crying. He could have got physically. He actually got hit a good right hand by Lennox Lewis, who's a really big right hand puncher, and it didn't even faze him. It didn't
faze him. He just started crying.
He was crying.
He just started crying. It was one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen, no doubt. But getting to this Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia fight, it's hard to
get ready to see something crazier tomorrow night. Get ready for it.
Okay. And all right, I am going to get ready for it. But let me ask you this, Teddy. I'm assuming you're going to favor Devin Haney in this fight because clearly he don't have any issues like you think Ryan Garcia does. But work with me for a second here. If these issues didn't exist with Ryan Garcia, just based on a fighter you saw before he lost to Gervonta Davis, okay? What would this fight have been like in your mind, or what would it be like if Ryan Garcia is mentally sharp against a superb boxer like Devin Haney?
Haney would still be my favorite to win the fight. Haney is not a big puncher. Garcia can punch really good with the left hook. That's his forte. He's a real, and with the counter left hook, where he catches you coming in, catches you a little bit careless, reaching with a right hand, bang! He hits you with a good counter. He's got good timing. He also has probably an advantage with hand speed. But Haney is the more solid fighter. Haney's the more experienced fighter. Haney has proven that he can win at a higher level. Ryan has not proven that. When Ryan went up higher level, I mean, he fought Campbell. That was his biggest level, but that wasn't a truly real highlight. That was his biggest signature win. But then when he fought Tank Davis, he got knocked out. Nothing to be ashamed of. Tank Davis, tremendous fighter. Pound for pound, one of the top 5 fighters in the business right now overall. But he gets knocked out when he stepped up to that level. Haney has been at a top level. He has been able to show that he can carry his talent with higher level opposition, more so far than Ryan Garcia has. Also, Haney controls range. Haney uses jab real well, technically sound fighter, defensively responsible. He's a sharpshooter. He's not a puncher, but he's a sharpshooter. Very accurate, puts combinations together beautifully. Ryan Garcia, long reach. He uses the jab, does everything off the jab, looks to set up that counter left hook, looks to be a little bit aggressive when he can. But at the end of the day, he's going to want to be on the outside, also control range, because he's got that good wingspan, that good reach where he can set up, where he can make you make mistakes, maybe walk you into some kind of counter punches. I would have liked a little bit of a chess match if it had happened under normal circumstances. Again, with Haney on the outside, controlling range, looking to set up those laser combinations, looking to see if he can goad Garcia into being too aggressive, where maybe he can counterpunch a little bit. Garcia using his jab to try to keep Haney from controlling that range. It would be that kind of a bout. Now, I see Garcia being possibly reckless, where he might just walk in and try to get it over with. Sometimes when you're really not of sound mind or sound confidence, sometimes you go in kamikaze style. And people say, oh, wow, that was brave. Oh, wow, that was confident. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was desperation. That's what it was. And I can see the possibility of desperation. He's not in top shape. We already went over the other stuff mentally, which is 75% of this business, to be mentally right. So I can see him going in there looking to end the fight early, knowing that he's not right, knowing that he's not in shape. I can also see Haney looking to catch him coming in, looking to counterpunch. But here's the one little possible crazy, wrench in the works, where I'll put it in there. A little bit of an X factor, where Haney, the last 2 fights, even though he's not a puncher, he's a technician. But he's been sitting down. He's been bending his knees. He's been trying to sit down on his punch. In the Lomachenko fight,
that's where your power comes from. That's where your power comes from. Yeah.
In the Lomachenko fight, he did that. In the last fight with Prograis, he did that. He's getting a little more aggressive. Here's the thing. He knows this guy ain't right. He might look to go after the guy after a couple rounds. Be careful a little early and then start to go after him. The one thing that really could mess things up for a guy who's supposed to win this fight easy under the circumstances, what could mess it up for Haney if he gets too overconfident, if he says, this guy's a mess, this guy shouldn't even be in the ring, I'm going to go get rid of this guy. If he walks in a little careless, a little uncharacteristically, because that's not him. If he does that, he could walk into a left hook, and that would be crazy. Other than that, I can't see it going 4 or 5 rounds. I cannot. You have to have physical. You not only have to have physical endurance, you have to have mental endurance. You have to be together. I just don't see that constitution where, in this situation where Garcia could hold himself together for anything more than 4 or 5 rounds. I just don't see it. I'll tell you what I do see. I can see him breaking down and crying. I can see him quitting. I can see him rushing in and walking into a punch. I can see him having an outburst and start screaming at somebody or anything or imaginary things. I hate to go there. I really do. I hate to go there because I don't wish anything bad on anybody. I mean, I know this business. Right. I know how dangerous it is. I know what you have to do to make it in this business.
I got it. I got it. Let me move on. Right now, Teddy, who's the best fighter in the world?
Oh, Crawford, and I'm gonna put a 1A and a 1 and a 1A. Okay, a 1 and a 1A.
Okay.
Crawford and Inoue. Those are the two best fighters, pound for pound, in the world. And there's some others that are there right after that, but they are by themselves. Crawford and Inoue are in a different galaxy, a different league.
Why is it that Canelo Alvarez is not in there anymore, in your estimation?
Listen, I don't think, oh man, the Mexicans are going to get mad at me. They're going to go crazy. They're going to start saying, I hate Mexicans, which is just, oh my goodness. What are you going to do? You got to be, what are you going to do? I mean, I got to be consistent. He has not, he has not fought the guys. Yeah, I know he made a mistake. He went up to light heavyweight. You know what? I salute him for that. And he fought people. And he realized it was a mistake. He didn't realize it was a mistake. But other than that, he's not fighting Benavidez. He's taking on guys that are kind of handpicked. Yeah, I know that he's got a nice resume. I know he's been around forever. He turned pro when he was 16. But I also know that I saw him lose 2 fights to Triple G. Yeah, I also saw him. And of course, he lost to Mayweather. People say that was a while ago, and everything else.
Right.
And I also saw him fight the Cuban. I can't think of his name right now. He was a world champion, the Cuban. He's still a world champion. He's 40 years old, and he's still a world champion. Damn it, I can't think. Anyway, I saw that fight. Yeah. I thought he lost by a point in that fight too. He's been very careful to avoid certain. I know he fought Kovalov. Kovalov was already past himself. He was already shot. He had just fought a war 2 months earlier with Yarde over in London, where he got dropped, where he almost got knocked out. It took a lot out of him.
Right.
So he's picked his spots. Look, he's the golden goose. He brings in the pay-per-view numbers. He gets to do that. I get it. And he's had a terrific career. But here's the thing. He is not the greatest Mexican fighter. That's where I get in trouble with the Mexican fans. They don't understand how many great fighters they've had. How many great, the history of boxing is full of great Mexican fighters, much more so than Canelo, because their resume is deeper than Canelo. They fought everybody, all the guys, all the monsters, all the Godzillas. They fought all of them, and Canelo hasn't done that. So look, Canelo's a good, solid fighter. He's moved up in a lot of weight classes. He's a good puncher. He's a good counter puncher. He's a good, solid fighter. But right now, he wants to be the best 168-pounder in the world. Well, then go fight.
You got to fight Benavidez. You got to fight Benavidez for that to happen. Teddy, I got to get on out of here, man. I appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule, buddy. Love you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. And I hope that Ryan Garcia shows up and fights and doesn't have a mental breakdown in the boxing ring. None of us are wishing that. I sincerely hope that it doesn't happen. I know you're hoping that it doesn't happen. All right? Let's hope for the best. Hope for a great fight Saturday night.
You and me both. Love you.
All right, buddy. Take care. The one and only Teddy Atlas right here with Stephen A. on the Stephen A. Smith Show over the digital airwaves of YouTube.